Hey guys, welcome to the Broad Planning channel, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different, something that perhaps I'll do more of these videos. Let me know in the comments below. We're going to be talking about Lionel Messi's apology to his club and teammates. I feel like this might be a more sporty type of thing, but I feel in terms of emotional intelligence, there's a lot that we can learn from this and something that you can use in your business journey. So that's why I'm making this video. Comment, like, and share, and let's get to it. So to give a little bit of some background, Lionel Messi, who is the Argentine World Cup winner, he plays for a club called PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and it's a French team, which is quite important because in the World Cup final of 2022, the World Cup final was played between Argentina and France, and since he won it against the French national side and him going back to his French club, it has been quite awkward, and also he's nearing towards the end of his contract, which ends in June 2023, and there is talks of him actually leaving the club. Now, there was a game that was played recently, and the deal apparently, based on the grapevines, was that if the team loses, then the team won't be allowed to get an off day or the next 2 days off. I think the match was played on Sunday, and subsequently the team did actually lose, but Lionel Messi actually had a scheduled trip, of which he had already previously rescheduled twice, and he was expecting after the match he's going to go, whether they have lost or not. So at this point, or after the match, the team obviously lost, and Lionel Messi apparently left immediately after. And then once the story broke that he's been, shooting pictures and they were posted online and so forth, then the club released news that he has been suspended and fined 2 weeks worth of wages. So that's really the background of the situation. So I'm saying this to just for me, I see also there's been some commentary, people saying that, Ronaldo was vilified and Messi is being, held as a hero because he should have went there and all those sort of things. And for me, my 2 cents on that before I get to actual advice part, is that Messi's situation is very different. He left after the game over something that clearly has been some sort of a miscommunication, albeit some say that there is a team WhatsApp whereby all the news that needs to be fed into the team in terms of whatever is going on the next day and so forth is communicated there. Can't say for sure, but that's very believable. And on Messi's side, he's saying that he had already rescheduled the trip. And the funny part is he went to Qatar. PSG, although it's a French team, it's owned by Qatarian owners, and he was observing his duties and as an ambassador, an official ambassador for Qatar. And I mean, for me, it just doesn't make sense in that regard, but that's a personal opinion. And he did what he did, and obviously he left and so forth. But in Ronaldo's case, he left during halftime. That's during an official game. And if you play soccer and you know how it is with the coach and everything, you don't disrespect the coach by just leaving mid-game. I mean, you don't do that at a low level, amateur league level and so forth, and then you're going to do that at a professional in a Premier League match. You leave. I mean, that's a statement, right? So for me, that's why he was vilified. And on Messi's side, it's more of like a mistake. It's an oopsie, in my opinion. But that being said, Messi has apologized, which once again, it's another sort of classy thing that goes against the Ronaldo camp whereby he, after everything, he went and did an interview, which basically throws the club under the bus and elevates him. And here's Messi asking for some mercy. So yeah, that's what really happened, and I'd like for us to look into this apology, because I feel like it's a really important thing to observe. But let's check out the footage if you haven't checked it out, and let's get into the analysis.
Lionel Messi has released a video apologising to Paris Saint-Germain and his teammates, and he revealed he's waiting to see what the club wants to do next. Well, he's been suspended for 2 weeks after missing training to go on a sponsored trip to Saudi Arabia, and it appears his time at the club is coming
Saudi,
to an
I said
end.
Qatar, I mean Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia.
Speculation in France that he may never play for PSG again.
Hola, bueno, quería hacer este video después de todo lo que...
It doesn't speak English.
I want to apologise
Translation.
to my teammates and the club. Honestly, I thought we were going to have a day off after the game like we did in previous weeks. I had this trip organised, which I had cancelled already. I could not cancel it again. I repeat, I want to say sorry for what I did. I am waiting to hear what the club want to do with me.
Well, PSG's head coach, Christophe Galtier, has given no assurances about...
Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Short and sweet apology. You look at Messi's apology, and you have to appreciate that this guy is a World Cup winning captain. He won the World Cup. He is the player with the most Ballon d'Ors, and it's just so much accomplishment that goes around Lionel Messi. There's also you know, once again, in comparison to Ronaldo received, I think, about $200 million deal from the club that he's with, Al Nassr, and subsequently Messi has received a $400 million offer to go to a Saudi Arabian, I think Al Hilal or something like that. Apologize for, you know, getting the name wrong, but a Saudi club, or a rumored Saudi club, has offered Messi $400 million, which is literally double. So I'm just saying, in business, guys, it's very important to not burn bridges. I think that's the first point that we can take away from this. Lionel Messi has been treated quite badly by this club, and I would say in an unfair and unfaithful manner, or bad faith. Why? Because it's a miscommunication, the way it seems. The player had a scheduled trip, which you are aware of, because, I mean, Saudi, having its connections with the owners of the club, there has to be some rapport and some sort of relationship that, you know, make sure that things are properly handled. And also, a player such as Messi does not just leave and go anywhere without being tracked, because there's too much investment in him to not know where he is any given moment. So that being said, I feel that the club is definitely doing some power plays. Once again, the player's contract is going out, and that being said, the player has so much reason to be, you know, sort of angry, act out, and do all sorts of funny things. However, he's choosing the high ground, and for me, I think it's very important as a business owner to always have the high ground. Yes, as a business owner, you don't want people to trample over you, to do things that which can result in you know, just putting you in a situation whereby, remember now, when the eyes are on you, and, you know, of course, maybe not all of us are in the same position as Messi, but the main thing is, whatever you do now, it will represent you in the future. And that's what I'm saying, don't burn bridges. He's apologizing, and he's allowing the club to continue whatever corrective measures that the club feels best to do. And I feel like that's a very important lesson to learn, that, guys, do not burn bridges, because you never know what could happen in the future. Second thing I'd like to get into is he has now effectively shifted the power. I think it's one of the rules of power, whereby you put your sort of like your counterpart, or sort of like your enemy, or whoever's your opponent, you have to give them sort of like the rope to hang themselves effectively, because, you know, operating in the public space that they are operating, it's obvious there's a clash, starting from what happened since the World Cup final. and now you're in a position whereby the best player has been brought into the club because PSG effectively wants to win the Champions League. And if they're not winning the Champions League, what's going on? That they've invested so much money to get the best player and they still get knocked out. So there's a lot of animosity, and yes, there's been also desire to keep the player, but his exit is so public, and his former club Barcelona wants him back. There is a lot of efforts to make sure that he comes back, and he's been going back and forth in Spain. He's believed not to be happy. So once again, there's so much for him to use against the club, but effectively he's just saying, I'm here, I'm sorry to my teammates. He's not burning bridges. He's making sure that the club let it do what it needs to do. And at this point, the club has already done what they would like to do. I mean, a suspension, what else can be done? He's effectively serving what he needs to serve. But now even the coach, he said, this is not a decision from me. And that's another interesting aspect about the situation. If the coach was angry, that would make sense. But now it's clearly a higher sort of executive decision. And for me, that speaks to, them acting in bad faith in terms of contract related matters. The club is positioning themselves to be viewed as if they don't need this player or nobody's above and so forth. And there is a history of many of these, not the exact incidents, but incidents of big players sort of disrespecting the club, and the club is supposedly saying that they want to position themselves and show that, hey, no matter how big you are, we will not be disrespected. But yeah, that's for me is a very low and very weak argument. I feel that they are acting in bad faith, and once again, the beautiful thing in this situation is that Messi is allowing the club. It's like, no, do what you will with me. I'm willing to take the punishment. I'm at your mercy. I mean, it's really quite profound that such a big player is putting himself in that position whereby he has multiple offers, right? The next thing that I would like to look into is turn negatives into positive. Once again, this player generally is viewed as, the one who does no good. I mean, does all good and no wrong. And in this situation, he's been consistent with that character. But I feel like it's deeply entrenched in him. He's not the type of person that fights. I mean, even when he left Barcelona, he was forced out. There were rules and regulations that did not permit the club to be able to keep him, and therefore he was forced out. And the minute he was forced out, there was a club ready to take him. Like literally, he left, next day he's gone to Paris. And that's the type of player that he is. He's in huge demand. And once again, in this particular situation, he is not going to allow the situation to overcome him, where he's going to use his emotions to react and put him in a situation that's just blatantly awkward. And he is, as much as he's secure about where he's going next, he's not burning bridges. He's making sure that the club, he's showing himself as a person that respects authority. He respects his employer. He respects the fact that if I'm working here, I'm not going to use my status to break the club, to just literally cause chaos. And that's why he's sorry. And at the end of the day, this is effectively securing his future, because whoever that has interest in him is going to see that, like, wow, this is a star player. He's humble. We bring him in. He is not going to disturb or destroy the club. He's here to play football and do what he needs to do. And for me, whether he's genuine or not, I believe he's genuine, but you never know. That is really, quite massive of him to really do. And for me, that's once again another thing that you need to take into your business. You need to make sure that when you're in such situations, difficult situations for that matter, do not react in such a way that it blocks your future opportunities. It's very important as a business person to be able to rise above your devils, because if you react to everything or a lot of things, you're going to put yourself in a situation, because people are watching, people are aware, people talk. Once again, the best advertising is word of mouth, and you don't want people to see you in a light that they're going to judge you based on the situation. And for me, that's why emotional intelligence is so key in business. It's so key because there are so many variables in business, things that happen, things that go against your planning, things that go against your goals and vision of everything that you're just, you know, pushing forward. And the main thing is how you react. How you react determines how much more successful you can potentially be. Otherwise, you can literally destroy yourself within a situation that you always had control. Remember, guys, just because things don't work out your way, that does not mean you don't have any control of the situation. Once again, how you look at the situation or how you look at the problem is the problem. So once again, in business, you have to put yourself in this situation, guys. It is very, very important to not have emotional reactions that put you in a situation that you end up losing on the opportunities that you don't know, the opportunities that are slowly brewing because of the good work that you have done over the years, and based on a situation that is unfortunate, you react and those opportunities don't come. And for me, that's why I just wanted to make this video, guys, to really share with you the power of emotional intelligence. I mean, Warren Buffett once said,
You don't need a lot of brains in this business. I mean, I've always said if you got an IQ of 160, give away 30 points to somebody else, because you don't need it in investments. What you do need is emotional stability.
if you don't have emotional intelligence, you're not going to convert. You're not going to achieve your revenue targets. You're not going to achieve your business goals and your vision, because emotional intelligence helps you to stay in the game for longer. It helps you to address situations that don't make sense, situations that are off-putting in the, you know, grievous manner, because you just don't know. It just doesn't make logical sense. But once again, emotional intelligence is very, very key. How you react is very key in terms of securing your future economic benefits. So I hope that helps, guys. Thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos, and remember to comment, like, and share this video. Really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.